Subhama Subha Alutta Keva. A very happy new year to each and every one of you. So welcome all of you for our New Year's New Year program. Yes. So the actual New Year was Bante yesterday, right?
Yes. 14th, right?
Yeah, 14. Yesterday was the actual New Year. We are still, very fresh in the New Year, and so we will do a very simple ceremony, and so this year also we had to do this ceremony through online. So glad that all of you take your time to join our this ceremony. Let us have this traditional ceremony in a very simple way, whatever the way that we can afford. I think what is really important is the spirit, is the feeling of this new beginning, refreshing ourselves and renewing ourselves. Is really important that we takes time to like renew ourselves. So we are so glad that you are here with us. So what would be our first item, Bante?
We can light our traditional.
Yeah, we have a special lamp for the new year, right?
Oil lamps, but not candles.
Oh, not candles, right? Yeah. We used to light candles, right? Yeah. But today we are going to light an oil lamp.
Yeah.
Okay. So let's start with that. So we have a special lamp, and this is a traditional lamp that whenever we start any new thing, right? But any new thing, we light this lamp, and even when you have a special ceremony, even like ceremonies like wedding ceremonies.
Weddings, yeah. We use this lamp for that.
For that, yeah.
Yeah.
Any new beginning, right?
New
We want an
beginning, yeah.
auspicious beginning, a positive beginning. So we are going to light this. Many of our children ask, Bante, why we have a particular animal on the top of
Yeah.
that. Maybe we can ask from our children, do you recognize, who is this bird sitting here? Can you see it? Anybody knows who is this bird sitting here? Okay, yeah, please go ahead and tell. Yes, Chenuru, yes.
Rooster?
Yes, it's a rooster. Do you know? Do you have any idea why we have rooster on this on the top of this traditional lamp? Anyone has any idea why we have a rooster? Okay, please go ahead and unmute yourself. Please unmute yourself.
Sorry, old person. My mother-in-law says because a rooster or birds they move forward.
Oh, okay.
They always, or is it they kick backwards, so that means they're moving forward or something.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dana. That's a good interpretation. So the roosters are moving forward, so it can be a symbol of moving forward, right? Yeah, that's great. Any other interpretation? Thank you, Dana. Any other interpretation? Why we have a rooster? I have seen roosters, even in the clock towers, clock towers, or maybe clock towers, or maybe on the top of many churches too. Yeah. A rooster is also actually an animal who actually start to uh, what you call what's how you say when the rooster makes sound. Yeah, roosters are the birds who start to, can we say shout? No, we can't say shout, right? Who start to make sounds early in the morning. Early in the morning, so it's kind of helping us to start the day. Yes. I say again. Yeah, yeah. Manol, can you say again? Yes, yes. Thank you, Manol. That is how the birds, make sounds early in the morning. So they kind of, signals that day has, come. So day has begun. So we can start the day. So the rooster also can be a symbol of beginning, because rooster is a symbol, the animal that help us to know that it's a dawn, it's a beginning. So that is why rooster has as an auspicious symbol we have on the top of the traditional lamp. So we want a new beginning and we want a forward journey, as Dana mentioned. So because of that we have this rooster. So we let us make a wish for this new year. So we are going to light this lamp, inviting light, inviting prosperity, inviting positive things to our life, and definitely during this time we need good health, right, Bante? Strong immunity for many people. So let us wish that this may this difficult time be over very soon.
Yeah.
And yeah, may many people be able to come out, and maybe all follow these health precautions very closely in the next coming few months, and then we as a community may be able to come out.
Yeah, last year also we celebrated our New Year in this kind of critical condition. I think in this year it's somewhat settling now.
Yeah.
So hopefully
we can wish that for in the next year we will be able to do it outside.
Yeah.
Yes. So with that wish, with the wish of wishing well-being and light and progress, happiness and security, safety to all of you and to all other humanity, With that wish, we will light this traditional lamp now. Okay, let us make that wish. May there be light to the whole world in coming months and the year. And what you see in the behind is the Sri Lankan flag, and of course, maybe so the lion is in the middle of the flag. That's symbolizes the bravery, and then you can see four Bodhi leaves in the four corners of that flag. So the four Bodhi leaves represent four sublime virtues: loving kindness, compassion, altruistic joy, and then equanimity. And of course, we have three colors in the flag to represent three ethnic groups living in Sri Lanka. So that is the flag is all about. Okay, now let us move to our religious part. So we will do our offering first. We will chant together and make offerings first, and then we can start the other part. So let's help us to give us few minutes. We want to change our camera so we can see right in the middle of the program. Okay, so we will place these offerings to the Buddha. So we want to make our first offering in the new year. So this will be our first offering to the Buddha in this new year, and this will be our first chanting too. Okay, we place offerings and we lighted the candles for the Buddha also. And before we do our dedication of offering, it is customary that we remind ourselves of our vows, of our precepts, and also to renew our precepts. It's really important in the new year that we renew our precepts and remind ourselves our commitment to follow the five precepts, to live in this world in a most compassionate way. So let us now observe those five precepts and then renew our commitments in this new year. එහෙමනම් කවුරුත් මේ ලැබුවා වූ අලුත් අවුරුද්දේ පන්සල් සමාදන් වෙලා තිසරණ සහිත අපේ සීලය පිරිසුදු කරගෙන අදිෂ්ඨාන කරගමු. මේ අවුරුද්දේ අපි පන්සල් වලට අනුගතව ජීවත් වෙනවා. තුනුරුවන් සරණ අනුගමනය කරමින් ජීවත් වෙනවා කියන අදිෂ්ඨානයෙන් අපි එහෙමනම් පන්සල් සමාදන් වෙමු. කවුරුත් සාදුකාරයක් දීලා Namaskare කියන පාසල් සමාදන් වෙන්න. Please recite Namo Tassa 3 times to observe the 5 precepts.
Sadhu sadhu sadhu. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa. Namo tassa bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhassa.
Please repeat after me. Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dhammang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Dutiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi buddhang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi dhammang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Tatiyampi sanghang saranang gacchami.
Panati pata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Panatipata veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Adinnādāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Kāmesu miccācārā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Musāvādā veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramire majjapamā daṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Suramere majjapamā daṭṭhāna veramani sikkhapadang samadhiyami.
Tisaranena saddhiṃ pañcasīlaṃ dhammam sādukam surakkitaṃ kattvā appamādena sampādē thabbam.
Āmadhante.
Okay, now let us get together and do the dedication of offerings to the Buddha. Let us do together. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Let us focus our mind and be very mindful that we are sitting in front of the Buddha and we are doing our first dedication of offerings on this new year. And with that wholesome thoughts, let us try to maintain that wholesome mind throughout the chanting. මේ ලැබුවා අලුත් අවුරුද්දේ බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේ වෙනුවෙන් ගත කරන පළවෙනි විනාඩි කිහිපය උන්වහන්සේගේ මහා බුදු ගුණයන් සිහිපත් කරමින් ගත කරන මොහොත. මේ අවුරුද්දේ කරන පළවෙනි බුද්ධ පූජාව විදිහට සලකලා මේ ලෝතර බුදුරජාණන් වහන්සේගේ අනන්ත බුදු ගුණයන් උදෙසා උපහාර පිණිස මේ සීල පූජාවන් පූජා කරනවා. මේ පහන් පූජා කිරීමෙන් උන්වහන්සේගේ මහා ප්‍රඥාව සිතට සිහිපත් කරගන්නවා. මේ සෝදදුම් පූජා කිරීමෙන් උන්වහන්සේගේ සීලමය ගුණය සිල් සුවඳ හිතට මතක් කරගන්නවා. මේ මල් පූජා කිරීමෙන් උන්වහන්සේගේ මහා කරුණාව ඉවසීම ආදී බුද්ධ ගුණයන් හිතට මතක් කරගන්නවා. මේ සිසිල් පෙන් පූජා කිරීමෙන් උන්වහන්සේගේ මහා මෛත්‍රී සිසිලස හිතට මතක් කරගන්නවා. මේ ගිලන්පස පූජා කිරීමෙන් උන්වහන්සේගේ මහා දාන පාරමිතාව හිතට මතක් කරගන්නවා. මේ බුද්ධ පූජාව අපේ හිත පිරිසුදු වන අලුත් අවුරුද්ද පුරාවට ආශිර්වාද පිණිස හේතු වෙන උතුම් බුදු ගුණ භාවනාවක්ම වේවා. සාදු සාදු සාදු.
Salutation to the Buddha. Namo
තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ. නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ. නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතු සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ.
Homage to the Buddha. Buddha Vandana. Iti piso bhagava arehang samma sambuddho vidyacharane sampanno sugato lokaridu anuttaro purisa dhamma sarati sattādeva manusānaṁ buddho bhagavāti. Homage to the Dhamma. Dhamma Vandana. Swakkhāto bhagavata dhammo Sanditiko akaliko epansiko openaiko pancatang veditabbo vinyuhiti. Homage to the Sangha. Sangha Vandana. Supatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Ujjopatipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Nyaya patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Samiti patipanno bhagavato savaka sangho Yadidang cattari purisa yugani Atte purisa punggala Isa bhagavato savaka sangho Ahuniyo pahuniyo Dakkiniyo anjali karaniyo Anuttarang punyak ketang lokasnsati. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Offering of light, pahan pujava, ganesarap peritene,
දීපේන තම දංසිනා තිලෝක දීපං සම්බුද්ධං පූජයාමි තමෝනුතං. Offering of incense, සුවඳුම් පූජාව. ගන්ධ සම්භාර යුත්තේන ධූපේනහං සුගන්ධිනා පූජේ පූජනීයං තං පූජා භාජන මුත්තමං. Offering of flowers, mal poojaව. වන්න ගන්ධ ගුණෝපේතං ඒතං කුසුම සම්පතින් පූජයාමි මුනින්දස්ස සිරිපාද සරෝරුහි පූජේමි බුද්ධං කුසුමේන නීනේ පුඤ්ඤේන මේතේන ලබාමි මොක්ඛං උප්පං නිලායාති යතාරිදම්මි කායෝ තතායාති විනාශ භාවං. Offering of water, pen poojaව. ආදිවාසීතු නොබන්තේ පානියං පරිකප්පිතං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු උත්තමේ. Offering of drinks, ගිලන්පස පූජාව. ආදිවාසීතු නොබන්තේ ගිලාන පච්චයං ඉමං අනුකම්පං උපාදාය පතිගන්හාතු උත්තමේ. Worship of shrines, ත්‍රිවිධ චෛත්‍ය වන්දනා. වන්දාමි චේතියං සබ්බං සබ්බඨානීසු පතික්ඛිතං සාරීරික ධාතු මහා බෝධිං බුද්ධ රූපං සකලං සදා. සාදු සාදු සාදු.
Okay, we did our first dedication of offering, and now it is time for us to reflect on the importance of this new year. And so this new year falls, of course, in this country on spring, but we know that Sri Lanka being a tropical country, there is no difference between seasons, right? We only have a rainy season and dry season. But when it looks like it's more appropriate to celebrate the beginning new year around this time, because everything is actually start to come out, and we can see in the trees, right, Bante, and and it is budding and many things are coming out, and it's really an appropriate period time to celebrate a new year. What is really important in the in this this new year is actually this new year does not start with the rise of the sun. It's not really start in the morning. It doesn't start right at the 12 o'clock, the clock hours. That is really interesting. And this new year, new year arrives on a specific time when the earth is moving from the last zodiac zone to the first zodiac zone. So it can happen at any time. And for example, this year it happened on 14th. I mean, it happened in Sri Lankan time on 14th Wednesday at 2:33 in the morning, early morning, which means in the US time it will be on Tuesday night. Tuesday night around
Evening at about 5 p.m. evening.
5 p.m. So that's the time that New Year arrived. The reason is that actually this whole New Year is based on a cosmic event, or we can call it astronomic event. That means that we know that Earth is moving around the sun. So it takes how many days it takes for the Earth to make whole one round around the sun? How many days it takes? Any science student here? How many days it takes for the Earth to go one whole round around the sun?
365 days.
Oh, thank you, Mithili. 365 days. Any objection on that? Is everyone agrees 365 days? Any difference?
Only leap years.
Say again. Only. Oh, so we have one suggestion only in the leap years. So what happens on the non-leap year, right? Yeah.
So the correct isn't always exactly 364 or 365 days. So they average it out, and then on every fourth year, there's 1 day short. So they add it to the leap year. That's right.
Thank you, Sefide. Yeah, I think it is 365 point something, right? Yeah, 365, and there's also a point. So Earth is making one whole round around the sun within these 365 some days, and this whole a circle, like a whole one circle, is divided into 12 segments. If you take this whole one circle, it has 360 degrees. And when this whole circle, 360-degree circle, is divided into 30-degree zones, and there are 12 zones, 12 zodiac zones, and zodiac zone 1, zodiac zone 2, and 3, 4, and go all the way to the 12. And there are names for each zone that Earth is moving around. So what happened in April, according to that, convention of these different zodiac zones, and Earth is in the last zodiac zone in the month of March. And what happened around 13th or 14th of April is that Earth is moving from the 12th zodiac zone to the first zodiac zone. The 12th zodiac zone is called Pisces, and from the zodiac zone Pisces, it moves to the zodiac zone Aries, the first zodiac zone. It just moved, the Earth just moved to the zodiac zone Aries yesterday, right? A day ago. So that movement, that shifting, that movement is the beginning of the new year. So it can occur right in the middle of the night, or maybe in the middle of the day, any day that Earth is start to move. Actually, there's also in between period. At that time, that early in the morning in Sri Lanka and also evening here, Earth just started to move from the 12th zone to the first zone, and there's also a period that Earth is in both zones, and we call that period Nonagati, right? and that's the period that we are supposed to stop everything that we are doing. Everything that we are doing, we stop everything we are doing, and New Year is also the time to stop. And particularly, like in traditional settings, when people stop their stove, their wood stove, they will clean everything in the kitchen. And particularly, New Year is a time to stop, and New Year also time to clean. And everybody will clean everything, and particularly the kitchen. They clean the kitchen, and particularly the stove, wooden stove or wood stove, and they will clean it, and they will stop everything, and not everything is on hold. Everything is stopped. You're not supposed to do any work during that time. Of course, you will go to temples during that time. And then when the New Year arrived, when the earth is completely in the first zone, and that's the time that you start do things again. So there's an auspicious time to light the first fire of the stove, and there's auspicious time to cook, and there's auspicious time to eat as a family, and there's an auspicious time to start, any work that any work. So, and everything will start on a specific time in the New Year. So I think it's really important to have that stop, and also have that cleaning, and then start everything again. So this New Year is also celebrated not only in Sri Lanka, but in Sri Lanka it's really considered a New Year. But this event, this movement of the sun, if they call it, also the earth, however you want to call it, is also celebrated in Thailand, and they call it Songkran festival, and also Laos and Cambodia and Myanmar and some other parts of the world also. But anyway, so and there's also appropriate colors that you should wear on each different years. That auspicious color you should wear during the New Year. But do you know what is the color that we were supposed to wear during
this year?
This year?
This year, I think, I remember, I think the light green, right?
Yeah, light green. Is anyone is wearing light green today? Oh, I think Sue is wearing light green. Yeah, that's appropriate color. Deepan Nona is wearing that. Padma Nona is wearing that. Looks like a St. Patrick Day. So green is the color, right? We should. I mean, of course, New Year during the time that you start these things again, you are supposed to wear this green color.
In Sri Lanka these days, people don't like to wear in Sri Lanka green color. I think this year is so good.
Yes.
And I think one thing you call that the interval period of that period, we call that in Sinhala we call no nagataya, and also called punya kale. That is the time to do merits, as you mentioned, to go to temple. So I think that that is to. So before that, we clean the kitchen, we clean the houses, and also we repair and do, and also our physical cleaning. That
there's also the day to take a bath, right?
Yeah, before that's for all year.
Yeah, the last bath in the all year. Yes.
Yeah, and
that was on 12th, right? Yeah.
In the period of merits, to do merits, that is called punya kale. That is the period we have to clean, purify our mind one day, to visit temple, to do any kind of meditation or chanting or something like that.
Yeah, before we start the New Year.
New Year.
Yeah. So that's a period that people go to temple. Yeah. So then I think the question is actually, so we are supposed to become new in the New Year, right? So the question is that how we can really become new, because every year we are getting old. How we can become new in a year? That is an interesting question to ponder about. Actually, how we can become new. Every year we can become old rather than becoming new. But how we can really become new? I think one underlying theme in this new celebration is actually to renew our relationships. The only way we can become new is actually renewing our relationships with others, and that's how we can become new. So there's no way that we can somehow change anything here, but of course we can wear new clothes. That's something we do in the New Year, right? Particularly children are waiting for their new clothes in the New Year. So it still is external it's good to have that, but it's still external renewal. But I think the real way that we can become new is actually by changing our relationship. By changing our relationship with others, with everything else, we become new. And that's the whole theme in the new year, because there are many customs that are related to the new year that will help us to renew our relationships with other people and also our relationship with nature. So we are changing our relationship or renewing our relationship with people and nature during this new year. And of course, we are supposed to go to our elders and go to our family members, go to our relatives, and then seek forgiveness for all the whatever failures or misbehaviors or whatever intentional or unintentional hurts that we created for them, and we will seek forgiveness, and we will renew our relationship with our elders, with our parents, with our relatives. And that's one thing we do. And of course, we are also supposed to visit people living in faraway places, and we exchange traditional sweets during this time, right, Bante?
Yes.
So, and people will bring a plate of sweets as a symbol, homemade, plate of sweets to neighbors, to other homes of the relatives, and as a way of expressing our gratitude for them. And also we try to renew, and particularly New Year is also the time that many people who had some issues during the year, and it is accepted that in the new year you are supposed to let go of all the things happen in the year. And if someone come to your home, if someone you had some issues with, some arguments with, you didn't speak during the year, but during the new year, anyone has all the rights to come and visit anyone's house, because you are supposed to let go of whatever issues that you had in the new year. So we people make use of the new year to kind of start and renew our relationships and forgive and seek forgiveness. So we will do that ceremony just after this. And there are also practices that will that help us to renew our relationship with the nature. Particularly, this is a ceremony about the sun, about the movement of the sun. So this is also the period that we express our gratitude to the sun for helping us to live our lives. The sun is the kind of source of energy for all the resources that we are using today. Particularly in Sri Lanka, also this is also the harvest season. So people are showing their gratitude to the sun and also to the earth, and even to any other natural sources. I remember Bante, in my village, many of the people, took their water from the well, from the well. And during the New Year, they have a custom, right? They have a custom that they will go to the well. And anybody remember what you do with the well in the New Year? Anybody remember what do you do with the well?
You bring some flowers and a few coins. So first you put the flowers and the coins into the bucket. So and then you dip, you lower it and dip it in the water and take the first bucket of water from the well. It's like you are doing a transaction.
Yes. Thank you, Sachin, Nona. So you go to the well and then do this exchange and transaction, and also like saying thank you to the well for giving us the water throughout the year, and you get the first portion of the water for that day. So there are so many such practices that we do to like renew our relationship with nature. I think the renewing relationship is really challenging, because it requires an attitude of acceptance to renew our relationships. Because particularly when our close relationships are very hard to maintain when we are living as a family, living as friends, living together in a community. It is possible that we can have so many incidents that we kind of feel upset among each other, right? And and particularly close relationships are hard to maintain. So to renew our relationships, it requires a certain level of forgiveness and acceptance and courage. So I think that in the new year we are developing these skills, and the reason that is so difficult is that when we in any relationships we tend to remember negative interactions rather than positive interactions. There can be so many positive interactions happening in a relationship among your families, with your parents, and maybe relatives and neighbors, with children. There can be so many positive interactions happening. But what you really remember most of the time are not the positive ones, but actually the negative ones. And therefore, usually we have a biased perspective of any relationship. Whenever think about our family members, we have kind of attitude, a kind of, but it is a biased attitude because we remember the negative ones very clearly. We kind of take them for granted or kind of ignore the positive ones, right, Bante? And other person can may do so many helps to others, but the other person just were busy and he couldn't offer one help, and that is enough for us to feel upset, right? And even in fact, actually, there are studies done in psychology, and it says that there's a magical ratio that it takes 5 positive interactions to undo 1 negative interactions. It's a 5-to-1 ratio. How unbalanced it is, right? How unfair, right? But that is our mind. It takes 5. Like, let's say you made a negative comment of your partner, or maybe of your maybe your brother, sister, whatever, and it takes 5 positive comments for that person to kind of let go of the negative comments you made. Or if you have any negative interaction, like some kind of friction, and then you need 5 positive things to kind of undo that. And that is quite unfair, but that's how we operate in this world. And it's important to remember that there's 1 to 5 ratio. And so whenever we think about a person, and particularly close people, whatever our attitude about that person is quite biased. We really have to, in the new year, we really have to purposely we have to remember the good things they have done, because we have kind of ignored them. And what are the helps the other person has done to me? And of course, there can be some negative incidents, some frictions, some tensions. So it is possible those things can happen. But we have to purposely remember the good things happen, and then it can help us to appreciate that person and see the goodness in that person, and then we can renew our relationships. And that is what we really have to do. I think New Year is the time to do that. So therefore, we invited you to prepare us, some leaves. Traditionally, we offer leaves to the elders, and we hand over a set of betel leaves to our elders, to our parents, to brothers and sisters, and then we seek forgiveness. We pay respect. Even though you are 1 year elder, you are supposed to pay respect by bowing down. Of course, you will not be able to. If you're able to find some betel leaves, that is perfect, fantastic. Anybody was able to get some betel leaves? Yeah. If there are betel leaves, yeah. If not, you can use any other substitute, any other leaves, or any other symbol that you will exchange and seek forgiveness. And one thing I really like to share with you, that this interesting story. I have told you this story before, but I think it's important to remember at this time that when it comes to relationship, we need to understand that everyone has their own faults, own weaknesses, and everyone is growing. Everyone is in the making yet. We are still in the making. We still in the path towards the enlightenment. So we need to have an attitude of acceptance of the weaknesses of others, and try to accommodate the weaknesses and help those people to go beyond their weaknesses. But it's important to remember to accept that and not to like discriminate, not to look down upon them. And this is the famous story that I have told a few times, a story of the a pot with a crack. And this is the story of the Chinese farmer who used to live on the top of a mountain, and his well is at the bottom of the mountain. So every day he has to come down to collect the water and bring the water to the top of the house. So he used a big 2 pots and hang these 2 pots in a pole so he can carry that water on his shoulder every day. So he used to go down and then take the water to these 2 pots and then carry that pole while these 2 pots are hanging in both sides all the way to the house. And one pot has a crack. So therefore that pot is leaking, but slowly. So by the time he reached the top of the mountain, he has only 1.5 pot. He began his journey with two pots with full of water, but by the time he reached, he only had 1.5 pots of water. But he kept doing that. And one of his friends saw that he's carrying these 2 pots and 1 pot is leaking. And that friend asked him, didn't you see that pot has a crack and you lose water? Why do you want to use this pot? Why can't you just throw it away and use a good one? And when this friend asked, didn't you see that there's a crack in this pot? And this farmer asked from the friend, didn't you also notice that there are more flowers on the side that the pot with the crack is hanging? And then he looked at the path. He said, yes, there are so many flowers along the way on that side, on that side where the pot with the crack is hanging. And then this farmer told his friend, I knew from the beginning there's a crack in this pot, but I don't want to throw it away. So I would like to accommodate it and then adapt to it. So what I did was actually I planted seeds of flowers along that side. So every day when I walk back, and this pot with the crack is actually watering those seeds. And that is why I have those beautiful flowers. So I can use them, I bring them home, I decorate my home. So this pot with the crack was a kind of problem, but actually he can accommodate it and then and adapt to it and make make use of it, so to speak, utilize it in a good way. I think many people in our life, maybe our family members, our friends, whoever, many people have some cracks. It's normal, we all are pots with some crack. So instead of throwing them away, instead of fighting against it, we should find a way to utilize it, accept it and accommodate it, and find a way that we can utilize it, just like this farmer. I think relationships is about that acceptance. I think New Year is the best time that we should accept and forgive and accommodate all our relationships and renew our relationships. And if we can renew our relationships, we will be renewed, definitely. So with that message, let us now start our forgiveness session. So if you have prepared some leaves or anything, you can use that, and maybe we can do it, Bante, right? First. So children, please prepare. Please come to the front of your parents, and this is the time that we will seek forgiveness from our parents and from our elders. And so please get ready. So parents can either stand or sit on a chair. The children can come right in front of them and kneel down in front of your parents. So please kneel down in front of your parents. Okay, so wait a moment. Okay, so think about this. During this year, sometime maybe we have been naughty. Sometimes we can sometimes we are too lazy. Sometimes we don't listen to them, listen to our parents, and and sometimes we become late to many things. So we may have given some hard time to our parents. And this is a time that we can genuinely ask forgiveness for any mistakes we have done, for any laziness, for any negligence, and please ask forgiveness from them, and give your whatever leaves that you have to them, and genuinely ask forgiveness. They still loved you, no matter how lazy you were, no matter how negligent you were. They still loved you. But today we want to ask forgiveness for all the hard time that we have given to your parents, and genuinely ask forgiveness and make a promise that I will be better. I will commit to myself. I'll be more mindful. I'll be more vigilant next time. Okay, let's do that. Please hand over this to your parents and go bow down. And you can chant. You can chant the verses. Bante, can you chant for them? The verse for to venerate the mother and father.
To mother.
Okay, first we venerate the mother.
Let's
Okay.
use this verse, this chant to worship your Amma. Dasmasi ure katva hose si udhi karanang ayudhighang vas satang matupadang namamahang.
Now the mother can give them a hug and touch their head and give your blessings. Okay, now move to your father.
Okay, now we can use this chant.
Okay, now hand over and bow down in front of your father.
Buddhikaro alingitva chumbitva piya puttakang rajamacchang supatithang pitupadang namamahang.
Okay, now give your blessings to them and give them a hug. Okay, now it is turn among yourself, among your husbands and wives, and also if you have other elders. And now it is the time, and it's also time for us also, Bante, right?
Yes.
So maybe we'll demonstrate that first. Yeah.
We use a different words, different Pali, some sentences to pay respect and ask forgiveness, Bante.
Yeah. Among monks, we have different recitation that we do. But it is time actually. Now you can go to your husband and wives, your other if you have parents and anyone, and this is the time that you can be humble and you can be open and genuinely seek forgiveness for any hurts or any hurtful thing that you have said during the year, and be open and be humble and then ask forgiveness, and then renew your relationship. Oh, Bante Metta also giving me.
Ukase bandhami Bante maya katang punyang sabang aparadang kamatmi Bante
Kamami kavitabam.
maya katang punyang samina anmoditabang
Sadhu sadhu anmoda.
samina katang punyang mayanda tabang
Anmodate.
sadhu sadhu anmodami.
So I don't have any elder around me, so I'm going to place this to the Buddha. Okasa Vandani Bante, Okasa Dwara Tirthapan, Achyam Kamdani Bante, Okasa Shamani Bante.
The verses that we use, Bante, is better we can translate and explain.
Oh yeah,
Actually,
can you say one by one? Yeah.
Opasavandami Bhante, the first line.
I pay respect to you, Venerable Sir.
Yeah. Sabbang aparadang kamatame Bhante.
Please forgive me for all the mistakes I have done.
Maya katang punyang samina anumodabbang.
Please rejoice all the good meritorious deeds I have done.
Samina katang punyang mayan databba.
Please allow me to rejoice all your meritorious deeds.
Sadhu sadhu anumodami.
Yeah, sadhu, sadhu, excellent and excellent. I rejoice your meritorious deeds. Okay. Okay, I hope that elders also seek forgiveness from each other and then renew their relationships, right? Okay. So children, did you see your parents were asking forgiveness from each other? Did they do it? Did they do it? Okay. Okay. Yeah. So I think now it's time for us to Bhante, do our blessing chant. This new year is very important. We all need to come out from this darkness. We all need to have a bright future. So this is the time that we would like to give you this blessing chant. And now we have renewed our relationships and we have make new commitments. And now it is time to receive blessings. And today in this new year particularly, we would like to chant Jaya Parit. Yeah, we would like to chant Jaya Parit. The Parita for the success, for the progress, and for the victory. And we really wish that may all your good wishes in this new year come true. May you receive enough health to achieve those wholesome goals in your mind for this new year. And may we all be able to overcome these difficulties, this challenging time. And may we all as a community be able to overcome and have victory over this pandemic. And may you all receive these blessings. With that wish, we will chant. May labuau alut auruddi me hemogem jeevatolට අභිවෘද්ධියක් යහපතක්ම සිද්ධ වේවා කියන ප්‍රාර්ථනාවෙන් අපි මේ ජය පිරිත් දේශනාව සිද්ධ කරනවා. මේ අවුරුදු තුළ ඔබේ යහපත් ඉලක්කයක් බලාපොරොත්තුවක් තිබෙනවා නම් ඒ සියලු බලාපොරොත්තු සියලු බාධා ඉවත් වෙලා ඉෂ්ට වේවා. ඒ සඳහා අපට හැමෝගෙම උපකාර ලැබේවා. මේ අවුරුද්ද තුළ සියලු ජයග්‍රහණ දියුණුව ඇති කරගන්න. ලෝකෙටම ඇතිලා තියෙන වසංගත තත්ත්වයන් වලින් දුර වෙලා අපේ හැමෝටම යහපතක් සැනසෙල්ලක් උදා වෙන වසරක් බවට මේ වසරපත් වේවා. ඔබ හැමෝටම උතුම් තුනුරුවන්ගේ අනන්ත ගුණ බලයෙන් සතක් ශාන්තියක් අභිවෘද්ධියක් ඒකාන්ත වශයෙන්ම සැලසේවා. නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ නමෝ තස්සේ භගවතු අරහතෝ සම්මා සම්බුද්දස්සේ Siriditi mati tejo jaya siddhi mahidhi mahagunam aparamita punyadhikaramsa sabbantharaya nivarana samaptasya bhagavato arahato samma sambuddhasya Dantinsa Mahapurisa Lankananubhavena Asidhyanubhyanjana Lankananubhavena Antuttara Satamangala Lankananubhavena Chambannaransyanubhavena Ketumalanubhavena dasa paramitanubhaven dasa varmatmata paramitanubhaven sila samadhi panyanubhaven buddhanubhaven dhammanubhaven sanghanubhaven tejanubhaven indyanubhaven balanubhaven nyaya dhammanubhaven chaturasiti sahasra dhammak kandanubhaven navalokuttara dhammanubhaven attangika magganubhaven atta samapatyanubhaven calavinyanubhaven metta karuna mudita upekanubhaven ratanataya sarananubhaven tuhang sambharoga soka upandava dukkha domanas supayasa vinasantu sabba sankappatuyang samijjantu digayuko hotu satvasansa jivena samangiko hotu sabbada akasa pabbata vana bhumi tataka ganga mahasamudra arakaka devata sadatum hi anurakkantu sabba buddhanubhavena sabba dhammanubhavena sabba sanghanubhavena buddha ratanam dhamma ratanam sangha ratanam tinnam ratananam anubhavena chaturasiti sahasra dhammak kandanubhavena pitakantyanubhaven jina savakanubaven sabbete roga sabbete bhaya sabbete antaraya sabbete upadava sabbete dunnimitta sabbete avamangala vinasantu ayu vandako dhana vandako siri vandako yasa vandako bala vandako vanna vandako sukha vandako hotu sabbada dukkha roga bhaya vira sukha sabbe upandava aneka antaraya pi vinasantu tejasa jaya siddhi dhanam labham sotti bhagyam sukham balam siriyayuca vanno ca bhogam buddhi ca yasava satvasansa ca ayu ca jiva siddhi bhavantu te. Okay, now it is time for us to have some sharing session. And so many of you have celebrated the new year in traditional settings in Sri Lanka. I think it is a good time that we can share some of your stories. Actually, how did you celebrate the New Year, at home, those days. So please feel free to be volunteer and then share your stories. How did you celebrate the New Year? What are the sweet memories that you had about the New Year? So please do it now. Anyone? Yes, Chandasiri Mahathya, would you like to share with us?
හාමුදුරනේ මේ අද Zoom call එකේ ඉන්නවා එක පියාණන් කෙනෙක් අවුරුදු දවසේ ඉපදුණා අපි ආශිර්වාද කළා නම් අපි අමිල නෝනාගේ තාත්තා ඉන්නවා මම දැක්කා මගේ දෙයියද කොහෙ තමයි උපන් දිනේ සමරලා තිබ්බේ
අපි
ආශිර්වාද කරන්න පුළුවන්
අපේ මේ රාජගුරු මහත්තයාද?
ඔව් ඔව්
අනේ රාජගුරු මහත්තයා ගොඩාක් සතුටුයි ඔබතුමා බොහොම අවුරුද්දත් එක්කම ඉපදිලා තියෙන නේද? හොඳයි අපි ඔබතුමාට ආශිර්වාද කරනවා. So this father was born on the New Year's Day and so we are so blessed to have him and අමිල නෝනා වයස කොච්චරක් දෙන්නේ? උපන්දිනේ කියන උපන්දිනේ තිබ්බේ?
87 වෙනි එක හාමුදුරුවනේ.
So
87යි.
Yeah. එහෙනම් අපි ඔබතුමාට ආශිර්වාද කරනවා සතවස්සාජ ආයෝජ සත වර්ෂාදී කාලයක් මේ පුංචි දරුවන්ට ආශිර්වාද කරමින් අපි හැමෝටම ආශිර්වාද කරමින් ඔබතුමාට මේ කාලය ගෙවන්න ශක්තිය ධෛර්යය වාසනාව ලැබේවා කියලා ප්‍රාර්ථනා කරනවා අපිටත් නේද මෙතන හඳුන්නේ නේ අපි අපරත් පී කෙනෙක් වගේ නේ
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම ආදී ආදරේ දැනෙන ඔව් අපි විතර කතා කරන අපි දැනගෙන හිටියේ නැත්නම්
වෙන්නේ ඔව් එහෙනම් අපි ඔබතුමාට
ගෞරව ආදරය වහන්සේලාට පිරිනැමෙන
අපි එන ඔබතුමාට ආශිර්වාද කරන්නම් කෙටියෙන් ගාතාවක් කියලා ඔබතුමාට නිදුක් නිරෝගී සුවපත් භාවයම ලැබේවා සබ්බීතියෝ විවඤ්ඤන්තු සසම්බ රෝගෝ විනස්සතු මාතේ භවන්තන්තරායෝ සුඛී දීඝායුකෝ භව තෙරුවන් සරණයි නිරෝගී සම්පන්න ලැබේවා Okay, please take this opportunity and then and please feel free to share your experiences. I think now we will give the opportunity to speak either in Sinhala or English because sometimes please excuse us, if anybody speaks Sinhala because sometimes maybe when they want to share their experience in Sri Lanka, they may switch the language without they knowing. So we give them that freedom. Yeah.
Teruwan saranai hamdurone.
Teruwan saranai budumatya.
hamdurone the first thing is මං හිතන්නේ මේ අපේ මේ තරඳ hamdurwanta පොඩක් ගොඩක් තියෙන්නේ නැති නේද සමාව ගන්න දේවල් නේද ඔබ වහන්සේ
ඇත්තටම මේ අපි පාවිච්චි කරපු මේ ගාථාව අපි හැමදාම වන්දි කොට කියන
එකක් ඔව් අද විතරක් නෙමෙයි හැමදාම කියනවා
ඒකට ගොඩක් එකතු වෙන්නේ නැහැ එක දවසක ෂේප් කරගන්න පුළුවන් හැන්දෑවට
I think because of the kids, I'm gonna talk something in English too,
please,
because they might understand too. Yeah. So I think this is the time, in Sri Lanka, I think one of the best time because first thing is we are getting the holidays. So it's school holidays. So as a kid, I really like that. And then, you mentioned in the things like the food, right? We're gonna get delicious foods, and then going with all the relatives, right? The houses. Sometimes, we never seen for whole year, but this is the time we go and then pay respect and gratitude. So, and then I think in here it's a tradition we're gonna get some toys for the Christmas, right? But in our culture, I think even though we have birthdays, but we are not getting like a clothes. But the getting like a new clothes, this is the time we are getting that. So it is a very always I'm looking forward for this moment, and especially in that auspicious time when we are doing this Ganudenu. So my parents used to give something, right? So always like we gonna get some money. So that is also very important for in that age, for me. So and then like the other important thing I think as a village, what we did like always have this the sports like the traditional sport we call a bak mahaulele. So we used to play like a lot of games, fun games with each other, like family. The one really important thing in our village, what we do, we play like a cricket game that we are playing with the married and then unmarried. So that is the only time like we can play with our elders. So I used to very really enjoy. I can play with my father. He's a good cricketer. So
against father, you are playing against your father.
Yes, against father, and then I'm okay with that. I'm like a little bit okay, so I'm doing it the batting. But he's a really good bowler, so he always take my wicket. So then my friends always laugh at me. So so it's really fun memories on those. And then as the relatives, like we gather, then we play like the games like the dice game, right? We call like the Katagasima. And then there is a one traditional game we call it. We keep it like draw like squares on the floor and the equal like a squares like a 16 square, and then we put a coin and then found out whose coin is in the middle, most middle, and then if your coin is in the most middle, you're gonna get all the coins. So that is also really a fun game we did in that time. So I think there are a lot of fun memories with, and then the best time in our life.
So what is the name? What is the single name of that game?
Gadol Kirim. That is I don't know how that name came.
Okay.
Yeah.
Godakwe Mahatya. Thank you very much, Ud Mahatya, for sharing those fun, sweet memories. It's really nice. Thank you. So we invite anyone else, please come forward and share your good memories. Help us and bring those good memories. Tell us how did you really celebrate the New Year, either in Sinhala or in English.
Teruvan Saranai Swamin Wahanse.
Teruvan Saranai, Sajina.
So I remember growing up in Sri Lanka in a village sort of. So I think Sinhalese New Year was the time as kids we had the most joy at all. I remember we lived for like 10 years with my father's parents' house, and in that house we had a big outside kitchen where the floor was not tiled or put cement or anything. And my grandmother used to, for every Sinhalese New Year, she used to rework this floor of this kitchen with cow dung and some dirt. She would mix that and then she would make the whole thing. I mean, thinking of that, if you haven't seen it, you feel like a little disgusting. But when you actually see it, it's completely different. She would do that over the night, and the next morning, the whole kitchen looked different. The floor looked different. And then she would start making all these sweets. My grandma had the best cooking skills when it comes to these kondakaung, mungkaung cookies, and unfortunately, none of my aunts can make those sweets like she used to do. And the other memory I have, the very fun memory is my father and his brother. They used to cut one of the arecanut trees and make a swing for us. So the swing he would make it like a week before the Sinhalese New Year, and it would last until the Vesak season. So all my friends and cousins, we would get together and we would play with the swing. And And
yeah,
yeah, I think,
Onchilla.
yeah, I think those were the very happy memories I had growing up in Sri Lanka with the Sinhalese New Year.
You know, with the swing, you know, Sachin, sometimes we get into an accident, right? Because swing is like really fun, but you are swinging, you know, so high, and sometimes you can get into accident. Do you have any such memories?
Oh, many. Actually, one time I remember I think it was the last time my father put it. So he left it for so long. Somehow the ropes got too old and ripped, and the whole thing broke down. And
Oh, while you are swinging, it broke down.
Yeah, maybe that was the time my mother kind of threatened not to do any of these at all. And I was growing up as a kid, I was very adventurous, and every single New Year, I had some sort of an accident. Like when my grandma was cooking. Sweets, we used to always sneak out, and my grandma had this big rule, like in I don't know, maybe you have heard somewhere this too. So while cooking these New Year sweets, and while the stove is like while the fire is on, and while the oil pan is on, you are not allowed to eat any of the sweets that's being prepared. But we always used to sneak out and get some of them because they were so sweet. And trying to do that, I remember maybe every single time I had a burn. I definitely had a burn. So yeah, those were the fun times.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Sachin Nona, for sharing those personal memories. You know, those these are really sweet and nice memories. You know, thank you. Yeah. Is there any other one who would like to share their memories? It's an important time for us to refresh those memories.
I like to share some.
Yeah. Thank you.
This was really, I mean, maybe almost 60 years ago. So it's really the time that we kept to all the rituals to the dot. The time was really observed, and this Nonagate time was the fun time because that's when we play. We go to the temple and then also come back and we play until the time comes for us to eat. So the whole family gets together and panchi with something like seashells. It's a kind of kavadi. What is it?
Yeah.
A game with that, and also cashew. You have not the clean nut. With the cashews, there are games. So whoever wins, you get the whole lot of cashews are for yourself. So all kinds of games with parents and the neighbors. And the other nice thing is you get lots of gifts. And that time there are no ready-made dresses. I mean, it wasn't the era for ready-made dresses. So you only get the materials. So when you go to your close relatives, you really get a lot of materials for your dresses. So you collect a whole lot of new materials. And before New Year comes, my mom and my sisters would make dresses. For me, being the youngest, I get lots of dresses, new dresses. And we look forward to visiting because our house, we don't make all the traditional things. We never had that tradition. So when we go out visiting, we get to eat. All Asmi was my favorite. So I love to eat Asmi. So that's, and then you get money. So being the youngest, I get little, but that was very big that time. So you collect money and you don't use it. You keep it in a box or something until the next year. So fun memories about the games and the eat all the sweet meats and the new dresses. So that was the fun thing.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Padmanana, for sharing that. I think New Year's the period that we have excuses, so we have permission to get money and use money, right? So other times we don't have access to money as children. So but the New Year we have the permission, get the money and use the money. That's really fun. And thank you. So So those days you didn't have ready-made clothes. You get materials, and then later you make you prepare the clothes out of that.
Somebody sews, stitches at home or give it to somebody to make it for you. So like these days, you don't go, there's no, I mean, that wasn't the kind of trend.
Those days.
So it's tailor-made for yourself. It's custom-made at home. So you get lots of dresses and you buy the material according to the color of that, whatever the new year, the time, the color that is given. These were long times ago, like almost 60 years ago, I'm recalling.
Yes.
Nowadays, we don't have, it's not that much thrilling, I think. It was a lot of fun, according to how I remember.
Davida Mahathir, do you have any of such those memories? I think for boys, we were playing like nothing and firecrackers.
We lived in the rural area, and I remember that time my father's mother was the greatest cook on these special foods, and she also had a similar kitchen area like Sachini Express, but only one good thing, we just sit around her when she's making all these things, and she knows what we need, so she'll give us something slowly, like, don't tell others, and so that way we don't get burned or anything, but we get the opportunity to enjoy the food, before it actually. The one good thing I remember living in a rural area, this Sinhala New Year was tied up with the agriculture system, because that's the time the new harvest coming, and we used to have paddy fields, and way before the New Year start, there was a lot of things, and then there's a lot of help in the village, and how they used to how you don't have the grinding mills to make the paddy to so you just get the people and start using the mall, that thing. No, you call it in English also some kind of and that's the rice and the flour they use to make all these things, and we love, because the Sri Lankan tradition, when we finish New Year, we start visiting the immediate family. So imagine, my mother had 7 siblings, my father had 3, so we had guaranteed 10 houses that we have to visit. Some of them are long trips, but some of them are just a day, and we get gifts from every place we visit. And that's the only time, like Bante said, we get some cash, and we are just waiting to go to school next time, so you can take your friends to Tuck Shop, I mean the canteen, and buy them, yes, today lunch is on me, or your short it's on me, because we have the money. So that was the greatest time as a kid growing up in Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much, Nandamante. That's really fun. Yeah, so nice to hear that.
I forgot to tell one thing, Bante, the tradition that time. I mean, my parents are teachers, so all from the students' parents would bring the children and with beetles, and they will
pay respect, right? Bow down and pay respect.
So we would have lots of beetles. I mean, heaps and heaps of beetle leaves at home during New Year time. I remember. I don't know whether those traditions are there now. I mean, I don't know.
Still they use beetles. I think even nowadays they bring beetles leaves to the schools also, right? Yeah. Yes, Sachin, do you have anything to say?
And to add to Davida uncle's about the paddy and all that. So that was the time the harvest is all taken and the paddy is barren. And we had the school holiday, so that was the best time to play on the paddy. So we would, I have one elder brother, and I didn't have many cousin sisters. So I used to go and play with the boys. We have this game that's a little bit like baseball, but you play with a bamboo pole, and
LA, right? It's LA,
you make
right?
the ball with all some, like you put together some rubber bands and all that. So we used to play it's called LA. So we used to play LA morning to evening, and then fall and play in the paddy, the barren paddy. And by the time we are home, we are all itchy with the straws and everything. But still, the itch and the pain worth the fun. So I remember that.
Thank you, Sachin. No, I think you played like a boy, right? With them, yeah. Okay. Okay. Anyone else like to share any other memory? I don't know whether anyone has any memory of Ratinya, right? The firecrackers.
Yes. Thiruvan Saranai.
Thiruvan Saranai, yeah.
Saranai, sir, I remember during the New Year time, we had to, because we call this Sinhala and Tamil New Year. The other ethnic group in Sri Lanka, they also, the major ethnic group in Sri Lanka, they celebrate the same New Year with us. So we had two Tamil families on the side of our house, and they had different traditions. So we loved that. Usually I loved their whatever they did. And in the morning of the New Year day, they make a very intricate pattern on their front doorstep with using rice flour, and then sometimes they add different colors. So some are very, very intricate. And usually they don't follow the auspicious times like us, but they also make milk rice and different sweets and all that. And the best part for me is we used to take, I think everyone takes a plate of whatever the food you made for New Year to your neighbors. Yeah. So that is the best time. And usually we have when they return the plate, on a beetle leaf, they put some money. Oh. So whoever get to take the plate to a neighbor's can collect a lot of money. So okay. I remember my elder sister and myself, no, my younger sister and myself, we were kind of like
competing.
Who can deliver more.
Yeah,
we have competitions. So that's something I remember really well. And also my Tamil neighbors, they had cows. So as you mentioned earlier, that we respect our wells, just like that they respect their cows. So on the day of New Year, they make special milk rice for the cow, and then they put a garland on the cow and take a lamp and they worship the cow, because cow is very auspicious to them. Those are the fun memories, and the best thing, another best thing is the unchilava, the swing. And that's the only time we get to go on a swing during the New Year's. So those are very fun.
Did you have any accident from the swing?
No, not at all, Swaminathan. My favorite thing was to stand on the seat. I don't sit on the swing.
Oh, you stand. Oh, you stand. Right?
So I never had an accident. And I don't think there was only 3 girls with us, and they never had any falls or anything, any broken bones. So, and the Ratinya was there, but then we had a dog who was afraid of Ratinya, and we never get to use the firecrackers. But then all the other neighbors, they put the firecrackers out, so we had to protect the dog. So those are fun times for Sir Thiruvan Saranai. That's right.
Yeah. Thank you very much, Deepa and Nona. Thank you for sharing that. So I know that there are some dogs, who cannot, tolerate the sound of the firecrackers. Yeah. So great. Okay, anyone else would like to share? Your New Year stories. Please share your New Year stories with us. Anyone? Yeah. Nishant Mahathir, do you have any memories of your New Year time in Sri Lanka? Nishant Mahathir, can you unmute yourself? Can you unmute yourself?
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can hear you now. Yes.
Yeah. Well, most of the things that were mentioned, we used to do too. The most interesting part was the exchange of gifts. And as most people mentioned, you get money. And sometimes our rich uncles used to give us a lot of money. And poor uncle, we got a little money. But anyway, so after the New Year, we had lots of money, and having not been used to having a lot of money, we didn't know what to do with it. And as some people mentioned, we used to collect the money and keep it in a special place, a till, and as needed, we used to use it. And sometimes the money stretches to the next New Year. And of course, the swing and the sweet meats and all those things, we loved every bit of it. And the other thing, of course, lighting up the firecrackers. We used to have competitions. So although it was not approved by our parents, we used to secretly go and buy the loudest firecrackers we could get. And so my brothers, I had 5 brothers and 2 sisters. We all used to compete lighting firecrackers. And of course, the person who has the loudest firecrackers gets a prize at the end. So those are the fun memories that we had. And every year we had family gatherings, and of course we used to invite the neighbors, and we had a fun time.
Yeah. Thank you, Nishant Mahathir. Thank you very much. I think firecracker is it's dangerous, but at the same time quite fun game. Yeah, that is true. And we also have a traditional ceremony of applying oil on the head, right? So if there's no pandemic, we should definitely we would have that ceremony here, like anointing oil, and those things too. So is there anyone else who'd like to share with us any other such memories?
Hey, I know I'm not Sri Lankan, but our New Year is almost exactly like yours. Our traditions are almost exactly the same. All the stories that you were telling, I also did all those stories. So I think it's okay if I also share, because on New Year's Day, we go to our elders. Yes. And so we would go to my dad's mother's house first thing as soon as the New Year's happened. And there's always a bowl of mixed nuts for guests, but my grandma would hide that for special guests, and the children weren't allowed to go into the mixed nuts. And my uncle and me and my brother and my cousin, we would sneak into her storage room. We would find the mixed nuts, and we would pick out the almonds and the pistachios, and we'd leave the bad stuff for the other guests. Every year we did that. And so it's just our New Year's is exactly like yours, and so it's actually really interesting to see how similar the traditions are.
Yeah, thank you, Safide, for sharing that. This is the Iranian New Year, right? Is it Iranian New Year? Yeah, we call it yes. Iranian or Farsi, Iranian, right?
Yes, the Iranian New Year.
Yeah. Thank you, Safide. That's so interesting to hear that. I think just like you interacted with your grandma, and I think just Sachin also mentioned how she tried to sneak and get her sweets, and I think it's so interesting how we share a common tradition all around the world. Yeah, thank you, Sefide, for sharing that.
Bante, talking about firecrackers, I remember, those crackers come in like a bunch of maybe 10, 15 together. So once you lit it, we used to go and look for the one that didn't burn. So, and I remember there was a person in our village, he picked one and put into his pocket, and it blasted, and then
it blasted in the pocket.
Yeah, because you go and look for the one that didn't work. So he had a nickname called Vedilla from that day on.
Okay. Yeah, thank you.
This is Kitmini. When you were talking about anointing oil, I remembered the day of anointing oil kind of almost fell on the 16th of April. So my father's birthday was on the 16th of April. So we had like a double celebration on that day. So he used to anoint oil on us. Each of us sit on a chair, and then he anoint oil and say the Gatha like the Bante say. And then we worship, we bow down and worship to him, and he bless us. And then after that, we all like make a cake and celebrate his birthday. So that was a fun day for us. We did all the things like everybody else talked about, which was so fun. And the 16th of April also a special day for us.
Oh, thank you, Kit. That is a great time, like to have Aurudu and also celebrating, his grandfather's birthday. So did he prepare his own like nano and the oil? So
yes.
Oh, yeah.
We got the instructions from the monk from the temple, and then we make our own
paste, right?
oil.
More like a paste and the oil. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we did it at home.
Thank you. Yeah, that's great. I remember Kitminona, even in my childhood, my grandfather has a large family, and it is the day that we apply oil on the head that everybody will come. So we call Hisatelgan Aurud. It's kind of separate house. Hisatelgan Aurud. And during that day, all the family members, all different villages will come, and that house becomes such a big gathering place, and then our grandfather will anoint or apply oil on each one's head and wishing them all good health. Yes. Yeah. Thank you, Kitminona. That's really it's also brought my memories.
Yeah. Thank you, Hamlin.
Okay, is there anyone else who'd like to share their stories, add to our stories? Anyone else?
Teruvan Sarana Swamin Hanse, this is Ashani.
Yeah. Teruvan Sarana, yes?
So I also have the same kind of experiences, like not as like Damita uncle and Padma auntie's experiences,
Yeah,
but
this is interesting, Ashan. This is interesting, Ashan. We have few generations of people, so we kind of see the evolution or evolving of the New Year traditions.
Yes. So, so my paternal grandfather, who still lives in Anuradhapura, he's actually 93 years old now. So when he was young, he used to had cows for milk at home. So he had paddy fields. Now, due to old age, now he has sold them off. And he used to make coconut oil for everyone in the family. So my father has 7 siblings. So they have this coconut extracting machine run by cows. It's called the Sekur.
So they use the Sekur to prepare the oil. Okay.
Yes. So by the New Year time, or like he prepares a list actually, like as Kit Miniaki said, so the village temples monks by their instructions. So he would ask every villager to bring all those herbs to extract the oil. So for us from Colombo, we always look forward to go to Anuradhapura for New Year to celebrate with them. And we wait until how this oil anointing ceremony, and we love that experience. And now thinking about that, it's like a different life now. So it's kind of like this is a good moment to recall those beautiful memories. Like as everyone said, it's like the same. This New Year time is like the most awaited time the whole year. And like the very moment it's finished, you look forward to the next year.
That's true. Yeah.
So yes, yeah, it is happy to share the stories with everyone else. Thank you.
Thank you, Asha. No, nice. It's nice to hear about that sekku. How they use coconut oil at home.
Yes.
Yeah. Asha, no, I remember, in our area, they use a different method to make coconut oil. They actually,
Okay.
they use they grate coconuts. So they use grated coconuts, and they squeeze the coconuts and make coconut oil or coconut milk first. So they prepare coconut milk with out of grated coconuts, and then they use that they boil that coconut milk, right? Is that they boil, and what's happening that when you're boiling this coconut milk, the oil will appear on the surface. So you will use a spoon and get that oil that floating in the surface, and you collect it. And when you do it for a few hours, you can collect a lot of coconut oils. Interestingly, all the there's a kind of paste that is made at the bottom of the pot, which is so delicious. It's kind of cream of the coconut, right in that middle. And we used to call it aduku, and they do different names. But it's telka, yeah. It is so delicious.
Telkaha.
Telkaha. It's quite similar to what sepi they made on the other day. The similar kind of texture, but it's very sweet. Yes.
So with answer to add that, yes, we also used to have that, but with king coconut, not with coconut. Coconuts, not the coconut. So we have two kinds of coconuts in Sri Lanka. One is king coconut, which is smaller in size, and that oil is usually not to use to cook anything, but to put apply on the head. And that telkaha at the end, it's very fatty. So if you eat it too much, you will get the stomachache. But the smell is so tempting, that doesn't matter the repercussions. You always tempt to eat some of it.
Yes, sure. That is true. Yeah. Yes. Okay, I really appreciate sharing these stories. Yeah. Anyone else would like to share any of similar stories with us? Okay, no one else? But do you have any such experiences? Maybe as a boy before you become monk, and also as a monk we have different experiences, right?
That is funny one thing.
Yes, Bhante. So excuse me for a moment. So everyone else in these sessions shared their experience, but we would like to know what was your experience during all these years in Sri Lanka. So the Aurudu memories we would like to hear from your side as well. Thank you.
Yes, Bhante, go ahead.
Yeah, I think as a boy, I think it's common that the experiences that they had, these kind of funny games, and especially
getting new clothes, right?
That is same, but I think it's somewhat interesting to know how as a temple, as little monks, we celebrated.
Yeah, it's different, right?
It's different, but
yeah, what is really important in Sri Lanka New Year is not a religious event, right? It's really a social event and also like this astrological event. So the temple, you go to temple during that like in transition period, but but it's not religious event. So go ahead, yes.
Yes, but so actually in temples, in our temple, we did not used to follow these customs or to do the what we call the special time they use as lay people.
It's particular for the lay people, lay families. Temple is quite somewhat quiet during the New Year.
Yeah, but I think not quiet because of the fireworks we do. So I think the only thing we do in temple is historical gamma, that flying oils. We do it in temples. The people comes to that. Before that, I think some we call that upasakamma. Some old loved ones, loved mothers in our devotees, among our devotees, they give some kind of firecrackers to us when we were small. And even when I was a boy, also when we come to the temple, I love to do some kind of experiments with these fireworks. That is funny experiences. So I think we have different types of fireworks. We call, I don't know how to do it in English, so we call it to go to sky, what we call ahaskuru.
Ahaskuru, right? It's going up.
It is also called ahaskuru. It should be go to the sky, but we used to do it on some kind of
instead of going vertical, you like to send it to horizontal.
Yeah. And also what you call that we broke it and
Nilakuru.
No. In the ahaskuru.
Okay.
Ahaskuru.
You have a stick that help the ahaskuru to have the balance and it go up.
Go direct to the sky, but
when you cut it, what happens?
Cut it, then it's jumping here and there, and a funny experience. And also in the temple, Bante, when people are visiting, we don't care about that because Lokohanduru is there to take care of them. The people. What we have to do is do any kind of things we use. Actually, we did the category or something like that because the young friends of mine, they used to come to the temple
to play with you.
Play with us. So category, what you call that? I don't know. That is also a funny game, and also many experiences with fireworks. So we used to do what you call Bante, some kind of pots made of some pots. We use that curd. So when we fire some kind of the ratinya and cover them, and we run away very fast, and we are observing what happened. Then
okay, you have this clay pots. Empty clay pots. So you light the firecracker and cover the firecracker with empty pot and see what's happening.
So I think that's a funny experience.
And it blasts and
not funny, actually it's risky. So I think sometimes our Lokoham group blamed us and so on, some experience. Another thing, Bante, so most of the dogs are afraid of fireworks. But I had a funny dog. We love it very much, and also he's very close to me. Called he's called Chandi. Few years ago he passed away. He loves to play with firecrackers. Even the ahaskuru. That is why we used to ahaskuru not to the sky in the road along the road. So when we, I think he has some kind of instinct to find the smell or the sound. He liked it. We don't know why. So he used to run along the way very fast to catch that firecracker. And also some other, we call that Bambara chakra, which very
Bambara chakra, which is rotating very fast, right? With the fire.
Inside the house we use. Then Chandi comes and he
want to bite it.
Yeah, he want to bite it. It was also a funny experience for us.
Thank you, Bante. And he has done so many experiments with firecrackers. I think my story is also quite similar, but not. I didn't do any experiments. We had a lot of small monks growing with us together, and we are not supposed to light firecrackers, but we will go as a group to our master, and we will make a special request to fire the firecrackers, and then he will give us 2 days. Okay, you are allowed to light the firecrackers within these 2 days. So we play that. After 2 days, we still want that. So sometimes we secretly, fire, but the sound, you cannot hide the sound, right? And so even after 2 days, we still play secretly, but then sometimes we get punished because my master hear the sound, and so that's kind of fun also. And during the New Year, people bring a lot of traditional sweets to the temple. So we loved it, because that's the time that we collect a lot of sweets, and we collect them, we store them, and sometimes we cannot keep count for a long time. We can get kind of what you call too stale, but we had a system.
Rancid.
Say again? Yes.
Rancid, become rancid.
Rancid, yeah. So we had as monks, we collect all these sweets, and we eat little by little. And when these oil cake get rancid, what you pay and like not good, and we used to steam them. And when you steam them, they become again soft and nice, and and we can eat them again. So we experimented with food, yeah. And and the other thing we did actually as monks, we don't really follow this, like custom, all the New Year customs, but we do one thing, that is to visit our elder masters. So my own master used to bring all of our young monks. We will hire a big vehicle like a van. We love to travel, we love to travel. We will hire a van, and we will bring all the different sweets and banana and all kind of food items, and also some packets of sugar and tea, packets of teas, and we bring them, and we'll go to our elderly monks, and we will prepare a big plate. So, as young monks, we like to, prepare that big plate, with all these different items on the top of the plate, and we will cover that tray with a nice cloth, and then we bring an, present to those elderly masters, and then we pay our respect and we receive their blessings. So I love that trip. My master will bring us to different monasteries, and he will tell us how all these monasteries are connected to each other like a family. And because my master's master is from another monastery, and that monastery has other monks, and they are living in different monasteries. So we kind of go to our monastic family, and renew our relationships. So I love that trip around the country. Yes. Okay. Okay, that's what I have to share. Okay, I think now is there anyone who would like to share at the last moment? Okay. I think now it is time for us to wind up. Thank you very much. It has been already 2 hours. We didn't feel like 2 hours, right? But, yeah. And thank you everyone for joining. And particularly, I really want to thank you for sharing your personal and lovely stories. And we cherish those memories. And let us wish that our children also have these beautiful memories. And let us learn the underlying theme of this new year, this rebuilding and renewing our relationships and cherishing our relationships. And so thank you again for joining us, and we really want to wish you really a very healthy and happy new year. And thank you everyone. And
thank you, Bante.
Yeah, wish you all happy new year.
Everyone Saranai.
Everyone Saranai. Everyone Saranai.
Everyone Saranai. Everyone Saranai. Hamdulani.
Yeah, everyone
Saranai. Suba Alutarudakweva.
Oh, Suba Alutarudakweva. Who is that? Thank you very much. Methuli, right? Thank you, Methuli.
Teruwan Saranai Hamdulani Subaluta Urudak Peva.
Subaluta Urudak Peva. Teruwan Saranai.
Teruwan Saranai Hamdulani. Teruwan Saranai SM Peva.
Teruwan Saranai Subaluta Urudak Peva.
Teruwan Saranai SM Peva. SM Peva. And special thanks to people who join us through YouTube. We have a lot of chats over there, and thank you very much for joining us. And we also wish you very happy New Year. Suba Aluta Urudak.
Teruwan Saranai Hamdulani.
Saranai Hamdulani.
Teruwan Saranai.
Happy New Year to everyone.